Hello Form 1s. In this video, I'm going to explain the memo of exercise 16. It said, P. Green is the owner of Green Fingers Garden Service, and the following receipts were issued for September 2009. Record the transactions into the CRJ. Now, first things first, remember to give your CRJ a heading. It's the CRJ of Green Fingers Garden Service for September 2009. Because September is the 9th month in the year, you will have to say CRJ number 9. Okay, so the first transaction was on the 1st of September. We issued a receipt number 37 to J. Julie for 450 Rand for monthly service fee. Okay, so you will say it's receipt number 37. On the 1st, the customer's name is J. Julie. The value will have to go to analysis of receipts, and because it's the only transaction for the day, you can cash up your till. Remember, I refer to this column as your till, and you can put the money into your bank, and a monthly service fee will count as current income. The next transaction was on the 3rd, but be careful, there are 2 transactions on the 3rd. Okay, so this will influence the analysis of receipts and bank columns. Remember that. P. Green increased his capital contribution by 2,000 Rand. Remember, P. Green is our owner, and we will give him receipt number 38. Okay, so receipt number 38 on the 3rd will go to P. Green for 2,000 Rand, but because it's not the only transaction for the day, we can't cash up our till yet. So you can't put the money in bank yet. We have to, however, still specify what the money was for. It was not for current income, so you won't write it in this column. It was for capital, but capital doesn't have its own column, so it has to go to sundry accounts, and you have to specify that it is for capital. Then the next transaction on the 3rd was that we issued a receipt to J. Johnson for 350 Rand for once up cleaning, which is a service. Okay, they didn't say what the receipt number is, but we know it's the next receipt number, number 39. We don't write the 3rd again in this block because it's still on the same day. The customer's details is J. Johnson. He paid us 350 Rand, and now this is the last transaction for the day. So you can draw that nice thick line indicating that you are cashing up your till. And when you cash up your till, you add these 2 values together and you bank the total in this block here. So 2,000 plus 350 is 2,350. And remember to specify what J. Johnson's 350 Rand was for. It was for current income. Then on the 6th, it said we issued a receipt to Be Bright for 250 Rand for pruning of roses. And we received 300 Rand from M. Mary for services rendered. Because there are 2 different customers, we will issue 2 separate receipts. Remember, B. Bright needs his receipt and M. Mary needs her receipt. Okay, so it will be 2 receipts on the 6th, 2 different ones. The first one would be receipt number 40 on the 6th, B. Bright, 250 Rand for pruning his roses. Okay, we won't bank yet, the day is not finished, but we will put that 250 in current income. The next one was from M. Mary for services rendered, but what I've just noticed right now is that there's another one on the 6th. So M. Mary is still not the last transaction for the day. M. Mary will get receipt number 41. We don't write the 6th again because it's still on the same day. Okay, so we skip this block. We will write M. Mary under details. She paid us 300 Rand for services rendered, so it will also go to current income. We're not banking yet because of that other transaction on the 6th. This last transaction on the 6th said S. Snap paid 450 Rand for tree felling, which is just cutting of trees, and we issued a receipt to her. This is the last transaction on the day. So she will get receipt number 42. We don't write a 6 because we're still on the same day. We write S. Snap in the details column. She paid us 450 Rand. And now, because the day is finished, after this transaction, we can draw that nice thick line saying that we are totaling or cashing up our till. And then you add these 3 values together and you deposit them into bank as one amount in this block worth 1,000 Rand. Then remember this 450 Rand that we received from SNAP must still be recorded in current income. On the 9th, D. Duncan paid 350 Rand for pruning the hedges, and we issued a receipt, but P. Green, who is the owner, high-pressured D. Duncan's driveway for an additional 200 Rand, and it was added to the receipt. So in other words, this receipt is not worth 350 anymore. It's worth 350 plus 200 Rand, which is 550 Rand. Okay, it's still the same receipt, so it's not two separate transactions. So on the 9th, we would have issued a receipt number 43 to D. Duncan for 550 Rand because it was the initial 350 plus that additional 200 Rand. Then it's the only transaction for the day, so we can cash up our till and bank it, and it was for services rendered. That goes to current income. Then on the 12th, we issued a receipt to D. Delph for a deposit to remove rubble, 50% of 520 Rand. So what happens here is D. Delph is not paying us the full value. He's paying us 50% of what he owes us. Okay, so you have to go and calculate what that is. 50% is half of the amount. So you can just say 520 divided by 2. Okay, so we are issuing a receipt for 260 Rand to D. Delph. In your CRJ, it will look like this. Receipt number 44 on the 12th. D. Delph, he's only paying us 260 Rand at the moment. It's the only transaction for the day. So you can draw that thick line and cash up your till, put it in bank, and it was for a service, so it goes to current income. Then on the 15th, we issued a receipt for the balance owing by D. Delph for rubble removed. Okay, so now what happens is on the 15th, we removed the rubble and D. Delph paid us the rest of the money that he owed us. What is the rest? It's the other 50% of the 520. In other words, it's the other 260 Rand. So in the CRJ, it will be receipt number 45 on the 15th to D. Delph, 260 Rand. It's the only transaction for the day, so you can cash up your till, put the money in bank, and it goes to current income. Then on the last day, we had 2 receipts. The first one to K. Climb for a monthly service fee of 550 Rand. Okay, so it would be receipt number 46 on the 25th to K. Climb, 550 Rand, but it's not the only transaction for the day, so we can't put the money in our bank yet. We leave it in our till, we'll cash that till up right at the end of the day, but we have to indicate what it was for. It was for a service, so it will go to current income. And then lastly, the second receipt on the 21st was to J. Johnston for removing a tree stump for 225 Rand. Okay, so it's receipt number 47. Don't write 25 again because it's still on the same day, so leave this block blank. It's to J. Johnson, 225 Rand, and because this is now the last transaction for the day, you can add these two values together, cash up your till, and put the total, the 775 Rand, into bank. And then you have to specify what this 225 Rand was for. It was for removing a tree stump, in other words, current income. And then right at the end, you need to total your bank column to a total of 5,645 Rand. Total your current income column to a total of 3,645 Rand. And then total your sundry accounts to a total of 2,000 Rand. Remember, if you add these two together, you must get your bank column total, which is also a nice way to check yourself to ensure you didn't make any mistakes.